G'day trade, Sam here from Trade2P. But today is the 19th of August and we're going to look at MU. We've been keeping a track of this for obvious reasons, along with SanDisk. They tend to behave similarly. Bullish market, however, it's in a big macro range. And what can we expect from this macro range and good levels to enter? I got my moving averages from the 10 to the 20, and that one's anchored VWAP and so on. The tool gives me the weekly levels, we've got the daily, and we've got the monthly. So the monthly is going to be most likely the most resistance. We had this corrective wave, so we can probably put that as a channel, and then we've got the breakout. Now, is this breakout a fake out? And it's a hard one, because if it's a bear market, if it's going to pull back more, then it's likely to go really, really down. So let's have a go at this with just our standard approach. Place our Fibonacci from the lows to the highs. We have the 618 over there. Let's just do one thing, just to move this for a sec. We've got our anchored VWAP, probably not the best position. Let's see what we can do with this. Okay, there we go. Doesn't quite get the bottom. So obviously it's probably for the liquidity. What can we do with this? Let's do the next Fibonacci to the low. So we have confluence. We've got double booster on that level. From a Fibonacci perspective is strong. Just mark that there. What we'll do is we'll put the fixed range volume profile just to see what that gives us. The lows. So this will be an ideal scenario, but it's probably not likely to happen, which is there. That's an ideal scenario. As price comes down, we'd probably like to see that get tapped again and maybe take some liquidity out, even come down to the value area low. The value area low is looking good. However, we've got the point of control right in the middle, and we might just get that move to the upside to this value area high. And if we put our tool in there, we can say that's the monthly. So that tool of mine looks for unmitigated levels, and unmitigated means it hasn't tapped before. So that's our monthly. That's our weekly, I believe. No, that's our daily. And you can see our weekly coming into effect ever so low. I think that's an ideal scenario that we wait for. So let's just get rid of that. Here, I think we're going to get a bounce. Definitely get a bounce. Question is, how high would it go? You want that bullish scenario where we get another move to the upside to this level or to the monthly. Let's see what Fibonacci is going to give us from that perspective. To the high, swing to the high. We've already hit our golden ratio. Let's make that, say if it was from this one here to the top, it is exactly on the 618 with the pullback. Yeah, the fact that the point of control is very strong on this one, because we've got a number of resistance and support. This is likely to be a good area to long, but there's not much liquidity. That's the question. We usually look for liquidity, good ones. Let's put our anchored VWAP from here. That's going to act as a resistance on the top. So point of control is on its own is not enough. We've got the 0.382. That helps. Let's do one more from here. That doesn't come up to it. Let's see this one here. Again, I like the idea of coming down slightly more for liquidity. That'll be ideal scenario there. And then look for the more highs. But if it does come down here, then the elite wave goes into muck. It's a hard one. It's probably going to do that. But if it's here, it can do that. Go higher. What are your thoughts? I can't see any other way of looking at this. It's well, put it this way, it is a bullish scenario, and we've seen this many times before. If you look at it this way, okay, this gold did this, by the way. So what we have the conditions for it. We have an uptrend. We have a corrective phase, which is around bottom so far. Here is not the case. If that trend line breaks, we probably visit here, but then that would be a nice position to enter for the rounding of the bottom and then continue on. We've seen this type of scenario before. It just takes a while. We're in this range, definitely. That is a resistance. So we've got this bottom half to probably range for a while. So yeah, I'm more interested in here for a big entry. Here, there might be I'm still going to think about this. It validates it because there's a lot of resistance there. So that should flip into support. We should get a bounce, but the question is how much of a bounce? Can we do that? That's a hard one. Definitely look for a long. Ideally, we want to see it come down here. Slightly lower. That will be ideal. But sometimes we'll get these things front run. Where do we see this? We see this on, I'll give you a clue. Give me a sec. We've seen that kind of scenario before. I do recall SP 500, SVX. We can do that. So we get that kind of scenario. Now let's look at that. Let's do a screenshot. Just want to bring this across to our other chart. And we go back. Let's clean all that up. Let's bring that other picture into it. Okay. Let's see how we look. Looks very similar, don't you say? So we have this strong level. So in that accordance, if we're doing this, right, we get the pullback, bit of a breakout, pullback. So it might just do that, and then we get this level, come back down. It's a fractal. What do you think? And then up for more highs. In this case, let's do that again. So that's our 0.5. If we were to do this, it's a hard one because, but it is definitely, that is lining up. This one's slightly lower. We get the breakthrough. So that's a corrective wave there. That's Y3, Y4, and Y5. So 1, A, B, C, and then up. So let's do that. That's our 1. We've got A, B, C. That's 2. Yeah. Close to the previous high. 3. Come back. 4. And then continue on. That is my thinking, guys. So we are likely, in my opinion, based on the fractal, come up somewhere here, come back test, and then up. That fractal is common on a few of them, a few of the stocks. We have very similar alignment. So I'm going to leave that, guys. Please give me a like and share, and talk to you soon.